One of the most iconic breakfast foods is Eggs Benedict, and today we're going to take it to the next level by using a live king crab. So for a classic Eggs Benedict, you have to have a few components: English muffin on the bottom, Canadian bacon, a poached egg, and then a beautiful Hollandaise sauce over the top. There's a lot of ways that you can play on a classic like this. Instead of using Canadian bacon, you can use regular bacon, ham, smoked salmon is a classic one. But today we're going to use live king crab to make a beautiful Eggs Benedict that's just taken up to the next level. All right, let's do it. So this is a live king crab. These are massive and super delicious. We're gonna go ahead and use this as the star of our show for today's Eggs Benedict. And now for the part that none of us like to do. And now we're gonna separate the leg clusters. So now that we've separated the legs, we're gonna go ahead and steam them for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can also boil these if you're doing them at home. Just a big pot of water, no need to add any salt. If you want to add some seasonings, go ahead, but you're gonna get that natural salinity from the seawater that the crab came from in that flavor. So to steam the crab, we'll set up our combi oven on steam mode, 212 degrees. We'll set our timer for 10 minutes and we'll hit start and let that heat up. Now let's go ahead and get all this juicy meat out. So we'll just separate the joint right here. And we'll cut off at the end here. And with a good tap, should come right out. I call this king crab lollipop. So now we're gonna make our English muffins. English muffins are 10 times better if you make them at home by yourself. They're really easy to do, so don't be intimidated. So we'll add in our water that's about 95 degrees to activate the yeast. Add in our sugar, sprinkle in the yeast, and give it a little mix. We're gonna set this aside for about 15 minutes until it's nice, bubbly, and frothy. Grab a mixing bowl, add in your AP flour, add your salt, gently mix together your dry ingredients. Now we'll add in our yeast, sugar, and water mixture. Add in your milk, butter, and your egg. Now let this mix on medium speed for about 10 minutes. Now we're gonna transfer that dough to a bowl with a little bit of oil to coat the sides, and we're gonna let this ferment. So when your dough comes out, it's gonna seem a little wet, but you can use a bowl scraper, and as that sits, it's gonna firm up. So once your dough is doubled in size and it's proofed for about 1 hour, technically you could go ahead and start rolling this out. But what I like to do to get more flavor from that fermentation, this is called bulk fermenting. We're going to let this ferment for about 3 hours, and every hour, maybe every half hour, depending on how fast it's rising, we're gonna do something called folding. We're gonna kind of stretch, lift, and press down into the middle. This will help give us bigger air pockets on our English muffins. So now that this dough has gone through about a 4-hour bulk fermentation, we're gonna go ahead and roll it out. You wanna dust the table with a good bit of flour, take out that dough onto the floured surface, lightly flour the top, and we'll roll this out to about a 1/4 inch thickness. Now we'll use our ring cutter and cut these out. After you've cut the first one, there's a good chef tip to take a bit of flour and stick the ring cutter in it, move it around, and then that way it's gonna prevent sticking. We'll remove the excess. You can definitely save these scraps, knead them back together, give it some time to rest, and you can roll them out and repurpose these. Now we're gonna transfer these to a wooden board covered in fine cornmeal. This is gonna prevent it from sticking while these rise and give us those nice air bubbles again, as well as give you that signature texture on the outside. We'll go ahead and heat up a cast iron pan, and we'll put the English muffins in there dry with no butter or oil. Now that these have risen, we're gonna take the cast iron pan, just add them in. We'll let these cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Now for our Hollandaise sauce. Hollandaise sauce is easily the most recognized sauce for breakfast, and I'm gonna show you how to do it super simple. First, get a pot of boiling water going. While that's going, grab a bowl and add your egg yolks to it. Pinch of salt, champagne vinegar, and half a lemon. Now over the double boiler, we're gonna cook these egg yolks until they turn into a ribbony stage. Something where you can pick it up and kind of make an 8. That's how we know it's ready. Once your eggs kind of turn light and foamy, and you can make that ribbon, that figure 8 like we talked about, you know that it's time to add the butter. Hollandaise sauce is made with clarified butter. To make clarified butter, we're gonna add butter to a pan, bring it up slowly, and remove those milk solids. You wanna drizzle in the butter while whisking to emulsify. Check out that consistency. It's like buttery velvet. Now the most important part of an Eggs Benedict is the poached egg. So I'm gonna show you a really easy way to do this. Grab a pot and fill it with water. For poaching, you want the water to be around 180 degrees. That's just before you start to see any bubbles coming to the surface. Add in some vinegar to the water, That also helps with the finished appearance. You're gonna crack the egg into a strainer. This separates the looser white, so when we poach it, you have a much cleaner egg. Give the water a little swirl and slide your egg in there. And cook it for about 1 minute. To heat up your crab, put it in the pan with a little butter. We'll cut some thinly shaved chives. Now we'll start to build the Eggs Benedict, first with our English muffin, and add on a few beautiful pieces of this king crab. Now we add on that poached egg. Look at that jiggle. And now for the Hollandaise sauce right on top, sprinkle in some Cayenne Pepper, and finish with a couple chives. Man, this looks so good. Dude, that is so good. That's the upscale king crab Eggs Benedict. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Continue to follow. We're going to have a lot more recipes to come. Stay tasty.